We're here with another episode of the Coach G Show on FGUnites.com. As always, we're here with the head coach of the FGU men's basketball team. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. Let's start with the Super Bowl. Why did Pete Carroll throw on 1st and goal from the 1-yard line?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not in a position to question any coaching moves, but I'm still in shock.
I'm giving you the authority to question
it. My thing is really you want to put your players in the best position to succeed, but also the best position so they don't fail. And that was the only failure spot is in the middle of the field, I think. So they scored a touchdown earlier in the game on kind of a fade outside, and then the roll out for the touchdown that was wide open. And I'm still, I picked Seattle, and I was one smart call away from winning it. And I guess that was Colin Cowherd said the other night that was the only interception on the 1-yard line for the entire season. So I guess you can look at it both ways. One, they've never intercepted it on the 1, but to throw the ball in the middle of a defense that's packed in, but I can't, question any coaches now. We got to find some answers. But New England was very fortunate. Let's just say that.
And going back to you guys, of course, this past week you traveled to Pennsylvania, St. Francis, you and Robert Morris, another 2 tough games. Where do you feel like your team is at right now? Obviously, it's been a tough stretch here, but there's been a lot of close games, and the team seems to be playing well in spurts, but it's just not a full 40 minutes.
I think really, if you take the Robert Morris game out, which happens, you go on the road and you run into a buzzsaw. We're a millisecond away from beating Sacred Heart. We're a layup away from taking the lead and beating LIU, and then we're one play away from winning at St. Francis. So that adds up to nothing, but we're getting closer, and we're playing good basketball. We're practicing great. So, we have 8 games left. We got to win a game. That's the first thing we have to do. But this team is capable of winning a game and then winning a bunch. And right now our sole goal is to get into the Northeast Conference tournament. And believe it or not, we still are only 1 game out of it and got a bunch of home games. We got to play better at home. But I just think if we win that 1 game and we kickstart this thing. We just watched the tape today of the second half of Princeton as a staff. We scored 64 points in the game. We were aggressive. Matt McDonald scored 29, so now we need Matt to get out of it, Mustafa to get out of it, and which he is, and they both are. But no one is handing any games or handing the candy out. You got to go earn it, and there's nothing better than playing St. Francis and Robert Morris and Bryant. Arguably, besides St. Francis or Brooklyn, the 3 best teams in the league.
Now, you've seen pretty much all of the NEC teams at this point. What do you think of how the conference looks so far this season?
I think it's very, it's very, you hear the word parity one more time, you kind of get sick of it, but it's the truth. Everyone's good. People are probably looking at us and saying they can beat us, and looking at Central and say they can beat Central, but I don't believe that. I think on any night, any team can win, and we're very confident that we can beat some of the upper so-called echelon teams, but it's a good league. It's a very athletic league from 1 to 5, so if you miss cover in some other leagues defensively, you can still stop people. Here, if you don't cover everyone, you're going to get exposed, and we've been playing better defense. We held St. Francis on their floor to 68 points. And that's what we have to do, is keep people in the 60s. Right now we're averaging, giving up over 70 points a game, and that's not going to cut it in this league. You got to play better defense, rebound, and then your good players got to get hot.
Now you get St. Francis and Robert Morris now at home, switched around this upcoming Thursday and Saturday. How much does it mean for you guys to have them at home instead of on the road?
I just think to have them again is important, because that game was just really. We cut it to 3 a few times in the first half, but we were just never really competitive, to be honest with you, in that game, because that happens. In a league, you're just going to show up and you're just going to beat up somebody, and they beat us up. So to play them quickly after losing, I think is important. The same thing with St. Francis, to turn around and play them again. Our preparation is intact, and we just need to make some more plays, play without fouling, and finish the game. We were up 3 in their building and just had a few unfortunate circumstances go on. But biggest thing is that they made big shots, and we missed the shots at the end. And But the tide will turn, and it's always darkest before dawn. And I'm just very, very proud of my team, how they've handled this whole losing streak. But I know we're going to get out of it.
Coach, final question for you. Thursday night's game, late game at 9 o'clock. It's on MSG, Fox College Sports. Are the players even thinking about that, or at this point it's just about getting a W?
I think, we're kind of on, and we're good on national television. We beat Seton Hall on national television. We beat, I forget the bigger games that we played, but the Rutgers and the big games we have no problem with. We got to win a league game in our building. And if it's on TV, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that's great. But if it's not, but no, it's great for our university. It's to showcase our program, our facility, our fans. I hope our students, now that they're back, will have a home court advantage. We haven't won since we beat Princeton at home. We've lost 4 straight, home games, which is really something that shouldn't happen in college basketball. And I think if we do what we're supposed to do, we'll put an end to that on Thursday night.
Coach, thank you so much, and good luck on Thursday and also on Saturday.
I appreciate it, John. Thank you.
So we'll have the games on NEC Front Row, but more importantly on Thursday, come out, support your Knights. It's going to be on MSG, Fox College Sports. You can check your local listings. We'll also have an NEC Front Row broadcast if you don't get those channels for whatever reason. Saturday, 4:30 against Robert Morris. That game will be on NEC Front Row as well. And FDU Knights, it's the place to be, the website for everything FDU men's basketball.